Hello and welcome. My name is Sean and today we're going to go through the Leatherman upgrade kit that you can get through the B3D Design store on Etsy. So on the left hand side we have all of the parts that you'd get for the full upgrade kit, which comes with the different bits for the whistle, for the sharpness slot, different Leatherman and Victorinox bits, an eyeglasses bit driver, whistle slot, thumb studs for the blade, as well as bit retentions or magnet retentions, and the liner lock, which is really only for the UK market. On the right, you'll see my Leatherman that has some of these parts installed in different colours, which I'm currently experimenting with to find out what colours I like the most, as well as making minor modifications to the design itself. And on the top here, we have the original parts that would come in your Leatherman. So today we're going to walk through the different features of the different parts and how to fit them to your Leatherman, should you choose to get the kit. So we'll start off with the top piece here, which is the top two pieces here, which are the sharpness slot sections. So these replace the stock sharpener that would come on your Leatherman. So yours would look a little bit like this. That's how the original device sits. And then this is the upgraded piece. Now, like I said before, I've got this one printed in yellow, but unless you tell me otherwise, yours will come in black. If you do want other colours, please let me know. I have a range of colours available that I'm testing with, or that we can print in. So this piece is the first option of the two. This holds the three different bits that come as part of this kit. You'll notice it's got a magnet on the back just to help hold it in place, and you just click it in place the exact same as the original whistle. So they're reasonably solid. There's very little play, and it gives you access to these three tools. The profile of it also doesn't stick out much bigger than the original piece, so it's kind of hard to see. Let me, if I can line them up a little bit like that. You know, they're very, very similar in terms of thickness. Now, inside this, you will have access to the toothpick, the tweezers, as well as the Leatherman eyeglasses bit, which I just pushed down there to release. And you've also got a little holder here, so you can use some light duty applications with the bit, and it all stays neatly tucked in here, reasonably kind of tight, so these things won't fall out. I mean, I've had this in my pocket for the last 6 months or so, and I've not lost a single bit out of this attachment. This is my personal favorite, so it sits on my Leatherman all the time. That's the first option. Now, the different kits available on the Etsy store, you can get some of these parts individually with or without the bits. Now, you might be like me. I already had a set of Victorinox short toothpick and tweezers in my set, or across other multi-tools that I own. But if you don't have those, or you want a second set just specifically for this tool, then yeah, feel free to. So just for completeness sake, here's what they look like in the black one, kind of reasonably low profile. The next bit in the lineup is this section here. So it also goes on the whistle slot, on the sharpness slot, and it also has that same magnet for retention, and it clips in the exact same way. Now this one is a slightly higher profile than the others, but it comes with a really neat feature. So it can hold any standard Leatherman bit, so of these thin Leatherman bits. So if I just open the knife there and put it in, it can hold any of those. Now the magnet in this also helps retain these pieces in place, so they're kind of reasonably stable when they're in there. With the knife blade closed, none of the bits will leave this holder until you open the blade and remove the piece that you want. As an added bonus, this one holds these parts in place, but also holds the next piece we're going to look at, which is this eyeglasses holder. So this is an additional piece that you can get that comes in the full set, which holds the eyeglasses bit and fits perfectly inside. Oh. I put it all the way in. Fits perfectly inside this holder. Now you can see it's part of the tool, and you can take it off should you need to, and access the parts if you'd like. Oh, oops. There we go. And again, this can come with this kit, and it also has the nice added feature of going inside the bit driver that goes on the Leatherman. So I just grab it here, it will go in and allow you to use it with the Leatherman. So this is a handy little piece to have. Personally, I carry my Leatherman, I just put that back where it was. I carry my Leatherman with this piece on because I use the whistle slot to keep the extra bit. But if you need to carry 2 additional bits or Leatherman bits with you, you can use in this kit. So let me just put these bits back. There we go. Perfect. So those are the whistle slot upgrades. In fact, let me put that in there. There we go. So let me put those back in there. Perfect. So that is the parts that replace the sharpener on the Leatherman. Right, let me put all of them back on. So again, just in the higher contrast in the yellow, that's how they fit. The next bit that we're going to go through is this piece here, which is the whistle slot replacement. So for anyone that has the original Signal, this is your whistle and striker. You can tell from mine I've tried to use it a couple of times, but it's not the best striker in the world. So I thought using it to hold the bits as well as the Leatherman bits would be a little bit more useful. So on mine, you can see it's here on the green. Once it's installed in the tool, you can access the tweezers and the toothpick. Oh, I've got them the wrong way around. The tweezers and the toothpick from the outside of the tool, should you wish. And if you open up the tool and release the clasp, you can then take the tool out, and this is the whistle slot. So this is the green one that I have installed, and then this is the black one that you would get in the kit. Now, much like the sharpness slot, these will take any standard size Leatherman bit. Unfortunately, because of size constraints, they don't take the eyeglasses holder. It's just a little bit too long to fit in here whilst keeping access to the toothpick. So I personally keep this hex bit in mind because I use this all the time, so this is the most important thing for me to carry. And then you've got access to the tweezers and toothpick. Again, the retention on these is pretty good. I've had this in my pocket for a good 6 months, and I've not lost a single bit out of either of these 2 slots. Perfect. So that is those major upgrades. The rest of the little pieces that we're going to go through today are a little bit more simple. So a lot of people have a lot of people like using these hex driver bits to either drive your Leatherman pieces or standard hex bits. But as you can see there, the retention on them is not the best. So the standard version, the bits just fall out. Let me do that again. So if this is a standard piece, the bits just fall out. So instead, you can take these magnetic studs. So if you see there's a lot wider side and a narrower side, they go in the narrow side. I always open the tool up. It makes it a little bit easier to get these in. And then let me just line this up. It's a little bit hard to do with the camera in the way. There we go. So it's a reasonably tight push fit. There we go. It's snapped into place. And now if I grab the bit when I find it, here we go. The bit is retained into the end of the tool. Again, it's just a little feature that just makes life a little bit handier. I personally keep the orange one in there just because it's easier to spot the Leatherman from a distance with that nice kind of fluorescent orange. It stands out quite well. But the kits that you'll have come with the black ones, or you can request different colours. Cool, so that's the magnetic bit holder. The next 2 bits we're going to look at are these 2 options here for kind of thumb studs to help opening the knife. So I personally have the middle position installed. You can just see here, there's a little nub. Let me see if I can get it focused. There we go. That just makes grabbing the knife a little bit easier. So when you're trying to open the tool, it's just a little bit easier. I find the middle slot works great, but the end one for slightly bigger hands gives you a little bit more leverage. The same as the other bits, these are push fit. So I take that one out. If you, again, be very careful not to stab yourself or cut yourself on the blade whilst installing these, but you just line them up, push them in, and then they're in place. It's as simple as that. So they're retained in the tool. You can pick, so the kits that we sell come with both options, so you can pick which position you like. Like I said, I personally prefer the middle position, but you know, everyone's going to have their own preference. And there you go, it's as simple as that. Excellent, so that's those bits. And then the last little bits we're going to look at are these here. Now these are specific for the UK because we have open or knife carry laws in the UK that say to have a knife without needing a specific purpose, the blade must be shorter than 3 inches and non-locking. Now the Leatherman Signal blade is shorter than the 3 inches, but the standard version does lock, so the blade locks in place and you need to use the liner to unlock it, which makes carrying this out and about without a reason illegal. Now, to disable the lock, we can install this kit, which means that it no longer locks in place and therefore becomes a legal UK carry. Of course, that doesn't mean you can go and brandish it and you know, attack people with it. There are still other laws to consider with, but this just removes the liner lock, giving you a little bit more peace of mind if you choose to carry it around. So to install the lock, you will need to disassemble the blade. That just requires a T10 Torx bit, which we don't supply. And then in here, you can see the piece that I've had in here. So I've had the black piece in here. And again, this has been in here since, oh God, a good 6-9 months or so. It was one of the first pieces I made. So the way that it works is we give you 2 pieces. So you can use just the metal washer if you so desire. So you slide that over the shaft there and then install the knife. I personally prefer to use the 3D printed piece, but you can use the metal piece if you so desire. So the way that it works is you just slide it over the top there, and you see how it's got this cutout here. This permanently holds down the liner lock. So it holds this piece down, which means the knife does not get locked into position. You then just simply put that back on top. The blade will be loose, so again, be careful, don't hurt yourself. And then just tighten it back up. Ooh. Make sure it's on first. Tighten it back up. And there you go. Now it's installed and the blade will not lock in the open position nor in the closed position. Now, depending on how loose or tight you want this, you may need to just tighten it up an extra little bit. If you're struggling with tension and you want it to be even tighter, you can use the extra washer to help just clamp these pieces down, but it needs to go on the outside of the knife, not the inside, otherwise it won't fit back into the sheath section here. Excellent. So thank you very much for listening. This was the Leatherman Signal upgrade kit provided by B3D Design on Etsy. I'll put a link to the store on the bottom of this video and vice versa. I'll put a link to the video in the store. If you have any questions, do feel free to email me. I'm more than happy to explain how the different parts work or what you might use them for, as well as discuss different color options that you might want. So I've personally really liked having this glow in the dark color, even though it doesn't, it glows reasonably well, but because it spends all day in my pocket, it doesn't build up any charge. When I've gone out and about and camping and things and left it out in the sun for a bit, it does glow for quite a long time through the night. Excellent. So yeah, any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, yeah, enjoy your day.